Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Well, today we're going to be talking about my top 5, well really just 5 fragrances that I've been wearing recently. You know, fragrances in the winter that really I've been testing, I've been wearing, and I just wanted to showcase some of those. I'm not saying that these are the best. I'm not even really putting a real, much of a title or a theme to this. I just wanted to showcase 5 fragrances that I've been into and I've been testing and just show them to you today. Let me know in the comment section below, do you like this? Do you like this idea? And of course, let me know what you've been wearing. What have you been wearing this winter? I know it's just about to become spring, but I would love to know what fragrances have you been wearing and what have you been into. So the first one I wanted to share was, Lacoste, and this one's just the Pour Homme. I think that's what it's called. I'm looking at the box over here. I think it's just called Lacoste Pour Homme, guys. This one often is called Gray to not confuse people because, all their names are kind of different and all. What you're getting out of this fragrance, though, is a cardamom plum fragrance. It has a little bit of sweetness. It's a little bit classy. It's an everyday fragrance, though. It's not terribly exciting, but it's not bad at all. This is actually one of the better cheapies that I've found, fairly recently. This is not a bad fragrance at all. For the money, you can find this $25 range abouts, maybe $30 or so for a full-size bottle. It smells sweet, it's inviting, it's pretty mass appealing, and it has a little bit of that cardamom touch. So if you like, things like La Nuit de l'Homme, but you don't want something to be overtly, attractive, and you're not trying to put on a show, you want something that's really appropriate for the office, but yet you want something with a little bit of that sleek, a little bit of that kind of vibe going on where you're kind of cool and people notice that you're a charming individual. I think that this is really nice stuff. Now, this is pretty much a spring-fall fragrance. It really doesn't stand up to the cold very well, but I've really been wanting to test this indoors. I've been wanting to wear it a little bit more, so I just decided to pull it out and wear it a lot more in January. So it's not a bad fragrance. I have a bunch sprayed on my arm, probably 3 sprays. There's something in the dry down of this fragrance that, in an odd way, reminds me of ginger. Something like that in a way, and it kind of, the opening's a little bit more fresh, and it has this little like swoop in the composition that kind of reminds me of YSL Y. Now, I really liked this fragrance when I first got it. I've kind of started to fall out of love with it, but it's not a bad fragrance at all. Again, if you like cardamom, and if you like plum, and if you like a good cheapie, this is not bad juice for the price. Let's talk about another one, guys and gals, ladies and gents. Y'all know how much I love this fragrance. This is Mahariz by El Herbolario. This is a cinnamon fragrance, a heavy clove fragrance, a spicy vanilla fragrance with a lot of charm and a lot of class. It does have some musk in the dry down. I'm going to spray some on my hand for y'all right here. Ah, there it goes. It's a beauty, guys. Often compared, to Muscat Vigueur, I think that this is much more affordable, and I also think that, it kind of smells more universal. It's a little bit easier to wear. It's not as niche-like, so the average person is going to, like it and enjoy it more on themselves, and other people are going to enjoy it a little bit more. I've been wearing this one a good bit in the winter. Even though this fragrance feels a little bit fresher and a little bit lighter for a winter fragrance, it definitely has the spice, and it definitely has some of that vanilla sweetness. So this one stands up to the cold pretty well. I've been enjoying this stuff. This is one of my favorite upcoming fragrances, and it also really surprised me because I usually have a hard time with clove. Clove has its own interesting, almost like oily spiciness to it. It can be very abrasive, and also you have to use it in small concentrations in fragrances because it's just so strong, and it can also eat through materials. Kind of some spices can do that, kind of like an acid. So it's a very nice fragrance, though. It's going to remind you of the holidays, maybe some kind of like spiced latte, or maybe, nutmeg, maybe you have a certain type of pie, and, those kind of Christmas spices. So it's a really nice fragrance. I really like this stuff. I don't feel like it's as, I don't know, universal, or maybe it's not as versatile as I thought it was. This is more, to me, of a fall night winter fragrance now. And at first I thought this was more of a spring fragrance and more of a fall fragrance. But I feel like this one just, I don't know. To me, in spring, I like things with fig. I like things that are sparkly and bright and boozy. And I like fragrances that often have a little bit of green to them in the spring. This, to me, just screams holidays. And I really like it for really standing up to the cold. With it, again, with all those spices going on. So, if you like spice, if you like cinnamon, I think you'll enjoy this one. So, that's Mahariz by El Herbalario. Let's talk about another one, ladies and gents, guys and gals. I want to showcase this fragrance again. I've been wearing a lot of this one. It's one of my favorites. I already have a couple fragrances on, so I'm not going to wear this one. It's a bit of a commitment. It has big performance. This is Bulgari's Man in Black. Y'all know about how much I love this fragrance, that I think it's one of the best designers on the market. It has great performance. It lasts, 8 hours or so. 7, 8, 9 hours, and you're also going to get really good projection. For the first hour and a half or 2 hours, this fragrance really kicks off my skin. This also has a lot of cardamom, and it's very spicy, and then it becomes almost this sweet, kind of almost like a gourmand, there was really a classic kind of gourmand smell. But it's also really appropriate and really nice, for the gents out there. Really classy, smells really upscale, but yet it's a little bit more approachable and a little bit more charming because of, I think there's some iris that comes through, and this fragrance to me also has a little bit of, maybe a tiny bit of coffee, maybe a tiny bit of leather. It's just so nice. I really like this fragrance. One of my favorite designers. Bulgari is also one of my favorite designer fragrance houses. So Bulgari, you did it again. Great fragrance, and I don't think that this one is talked about enough. If you're a classy gent, if you want something a little upscale, if you're a guy who's 25 plus and you don't know where to look for like a fragrance for the winter or the fall, it has strong performance, that's classy, and maybe you like a spicy fragrance, I mean, you got to look at this one. This one deserves the respect and the attention. Check it out. Man in Black by Bulgari. A great fragrance. Let's talk about another one that really surprised me. I got this decant here, and it's called Midnight Oud by Juliet Has a Gun. Now, if you don't know about that brand, Juliet, look into it. It's a really nice brand. They focus more on ladies' fragrances. They're actually fairly popular in the niche world, but this fragrance really surprised me. I got it in hopes that it was unisex, and I'm happy to say that this fragrance pretty much is a unisex fragrance. It's heavy on the rose, but it's more of a damask rose, which is that dry, spicy rose that I love so much. So that's one reason I was really pulled to this fragrance. It has a modern kind of dark patchouli, and this fragrance, of course, has a very modern, smooth type of oud to it. So this stuff is really nice, but the rose is pretty heavy-handed. So if you don't like a really rose-heavy, rose oud combo, this might not be for you, but this is very good to a Western nose. It has great performance, and I was really surprised by this one. For the price, I think it's a nice fragrance. For a lady, especially, I don't think there's a lot of oud fragrances that appeal to a Western lady. We'd all know about Oud Bouquet. That one's pretty, pretty far on the niche realm. I think that this one's a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier to wear, especially if you're the lady, or if you're a guy looking for the gift. This one is heavy on the rose. So if she likes rose, she's probably going to like this. Just a really nice fragrance, and it is unisex. If you're a guy who's comfortable with rose, I was really impressed by this fragrance. I didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm happy to say that this is a nice juice. Nice juice indeed. So I have to say this is good stuff. Anyways, Midnight Oud, I was really surprised by this one. Let me know, have you heard about this brand, and have you heard about this fragrance? It's really nice. Really surprised about that one. I'm kind of wrapping this up. We're at the last fragrance already, my friends. We've wrapped it up just about, and we're going to talk about Pure Tonka real quick by Mugler. I really like this fragrance. I've always loved it. When I first smelled it, I had to buy it. I do think that the flask is kind of corny. There's ways for people to take off the caps, and you can kind of slit the cap to make it easier to spray. I've done that. If you get a sharp, thin object, like a knife, you can cut around the top of it. Don't cut the back. You don't want to get rid of all the plastic there. But I can do a video if y'all want to see that. Anyways, this is a nice fragrance. If you like Tonka, if you like gourmands, this one is great. This one is probably The Mugler fragrance with the least amount of that, tar, that smoky rubber. This one probably has the least amount of that. So you still get a little bit of the caramel. You get, some cocoa dust and maybe a little bit of coffee, a lot of sweetness. This stuff smells so cozy. It's such a beautiful gourmand. It's really one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. I love this fragrance because it's wearable, it's very confident for a gourmand. A lot of gourmands to me just aren't too wearable because I tend to like, again, a little bit more of masculine fragrances out there. So this one has the right amount of strength and confidence behind it, suits my personality, and I've just been wearing this fragrance. I've been wearing it, and I really enjoy it. So this has really been my 5 fragrances I've been wearing in the month of January. I saw this done, and let me know if you want me to, do these every month. Showcase some of the fragrances I've been into. Just talk about them a little bit. I think I'll do them a little bit, this kind of thing, a little bit more often. So anyways, I don't think that this idea particularly was my own. I did see somebody else out there do it, but I don't remember who it was anymore. So kudos to them. Let me know who that was. I do think that this is a fun idea just to showcase what fragrances I've been into, what have I been wearing, and what have I been doing. So thank y'all so much for being here again. Of course, this is Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel. If you enjoyed my content today, of course, give me a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. And I'll see y'all next time, everybody. Peace out, wear what you love, and rock what you got. And I'll see you next time, and bye.